Yes, guys. Yes, guys. Yes, guys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Guys, I am indeed in the building. So far, nobody's here. Okay, forget. I think there's one person here. Appreciate the like that you've given. One like has been given. I appreciate that. Two likes, one person. Interesting. Yeah. Who is in the building so far? Can you leave that in the live chat? Let's switch that over. Guess who? Rasta Aussie is indeed in the building, bro. I appreciate that you definitely here as well. And as you can see, the layout is a bit different from what you guys are accustomed to. And that is because we have shifted. I'm actually on my phone there. I remember showing you guys my phone. And I am actually on a new vibe right there. This is like my podcast setup, so to speak. I'm no longer on the, what do you call that, the webcam. So I appreciate that. Rasta Aussie, by the way, where are you watching from? Mason Stewart, big up yourself, big up the Atlanta Massives out here, out and large, all over the place. Appreciate you guys. Let me just bring this closer. Yes, guys. Yes, sir. Let me go on this thing to see what this thing looks like. By the way, I appreciate all those who watched the previous reactions on Mr. Lix Reacts, as well as on this year channel BrBpTV. I'm just looking at this thing to see what it looks like. I want to see what you guys see, because I see something completely different. I see the behind the scenes, but I want to see other stuff. Okay, the chat needs to get bigger. I think the chat is all the way at the bottom. Let me see what I can do about this thing. Fates of nuclear war is arising. I'm putting it at the top. Okay. And let's go. Okay, I'm gonna put this one down there so it looks normal. Are you guys seeing the chat? Like, you know, clearly? Because when I look at my own, I'm not seeing the chat clearly though. Big up to the 23 individuals inside there. Big up to 7 of those who have given, 8 of you guys who have given a thumbs up already. I do appreciate that. I would like the others to give a thumbs up as well. The other 15 of you guys would be nice if you click the thumbs up button. Okay, let me see what the chat is saying. Big up. Okay, Oswald, Alexander, New Jersey Massive. Big up yourself. Oh, Massachusetts. Yeah, Master Aussie, Massachusetts. I keep forgetting that. Juanita Prince, where you watching from? I see you locked in. Patsy Celestine, greetings, manners, and respect to you, Mr. Lix. More power. Yes, I suspect you and blessings related, Patsy. But I appreciate that. More power to you as well. Teresa, bonsoir. Yeah, bonsoir to you, Teresa. Nikron, good night. Good night to you as well. Yeah, man. I see my posse partner in the building as well. Demonstrator. Big up yourself out in NYC. Gabriel Carbon, greetings. I am watching and listening. Big up yourself. By the way, guys, like I stated before, are you guys seeing the chat? Are you seeing the chat on the screen? Is it clear enough? Is it clear enough for you guys to see and make it? I mean, when I put it in full screen, I see everything. So, yeah, man. Guys, it's going to be an interesting one today, man. It's going to be an interesting one, especially what is taking place in Dominica right now. You have to ask yourself a question. Stream status. Am I doing okay? How is my stream status doing, guys? It says it's doing okay. But YouTube says are you guys experiencing buffering? Or is that YouTube just doing what it wants? Watching from London, big up London, massive. It's unfortunate that a lot of Dominicans can't seem to come to London right now because, you know, of the visa restrictions caused by none other than the Prime Minister Skerrit. It's telling me the stream status is poor. Am I buffering, guys? Are you seeing me buffering? Peace sign. Hold my peace sign up. No buffering here. Is anybody experiencing buffering? Technology is something else, boy. Technology is really something else. Hey. No buffering here. Okay. Well, since there's no buffering in Massachusetts, I'm guessing that there's most likely everything is flowing well. So why is YouTube telling me that my thing is poor? Stream status is poor. Yes, I am seeing you on screen. Yeah, I'm on screen right now. What sign did I hold? No gang signs, but what sign did I hold? Guys, we're about to start this thing in a few, in about a minute time. Good evening to everyone. Mr. Lix Wagyu, just entering class. Yes, class is in session. Well, almost in session right now. It's still telling me that. Why? It shows. Did you guys see the balloon? What on earth is going on here? Present. Let me leave that alone. I just see something on my Mac. Oh, yeah. Man, how you guys doing today, man? Today is Wednesday. Today is karaoke night. So, you know, we have to make sure we get this thing done to make sure that we enjoy our karaoke. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. This is pretty much what it has in Dominica, man. Karaoke is everywhere, man. You go Roseau karaoke. I think one of my people them was trying to do karaoke in the Kalinago territory. Karaoke maybe tomorrow in Roseau. Yeah, karaoke is oh you enjoy yourself, eh? 26 of you guys are in the building. Appreciate you guys right there. Why is it telling me YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming? As such, viewers will experience buffering. Well, let's see what happens right there. Okay, you guys see me enough. I know I looking nice, but you guys, you see me enough already. Okay, guys, it's 10 minutes. So, thank you for continuous great work, bro. You is a prophet. Well, I'm not sure about the prophet one, but I appreciate the love, man. Oswald, Alexander, more blessings to you, bro. Anti-Stable watching from London. Big up one time. Gabriel Cabon. Patsy. Guys, you know what? Let's start here. I suspect there are days when individuals will come in and there are days when individuals, will not be able to make it. Oh, I suspect why it's doing this. Because my computer is not receiving charge right now. And this thing pulls a lot of... Okay, recharging now, guys. So maybe that's why. We'll see if the stream health comes back regularly. Anyways, guys, let's start here. Let's start and get this thing cracking, man. Guys, are you guys hearing the audio of the screen? I played it a little bit. Let me see if you guys hearing it so I can go through this thing. Ernst Philip locked in. Appreciate that. No audio. Okay. No audio. Are you guys hearing it now?
Our country, Dominica, its connection with Russia. We know that. But I'm not going there tonight. But I'm just drawing the...
Let's see if he comes in. No audios yet. Are you guys hearing the audio? No, are you guys hearing a double audio? Okay, I see. So it's only on my end I'm hearing the double audio. Okay. Well, we'll just have to deal with that, guys. On my end. But let's go, guys. Let's go.
But there in Russia as we speak, in terms of anything and anyone, any organization, anything that resembles opposition to the Kremlin, they are crushed. It is crushed. Brutally crushed, that is. And that is what we are seeing in Dominica today, showing up its ugly head.
Well, what is it on the Kremlin and Russia? I think a number of persons, the media itself, there's some interesting things going on in the world where the West doesn't like the Russia and a number of places. And I think, I'll just leave my thoughts on this right there. But let's continue.
Dominicans, it is always said to be forewarned is to be forearmed. And you cannot say you have not been forewarned, so therefore you should arm yourself in terms of doing what you have to do to protect and preserve your...
Yes, guys, share the live. Don't forget to share the live as well. I would appreciate that right there. Share it on your WhatsApp, share it everywhere, guys, on your Facebook, so that people can get the vibrations right there.
Country from the reign of terror that is happening all now and will intensify in the future as things get hotter in this place. And so brace yourself, Dominicans. The road ahead is very, very rough. I can tell you that. And that is why I chose to topic tonight's conversation discerning the life and times in Dominica. And that is the Commonwealth of Dominica. For those of you abroad listening and may have this mix up. It is this little rock in the Caribbean region where I am saying, based on what I am seeing and the Dominican public we are feeling, it is this Gestapo type like regime that clothe and cloak themselves as members of the police force in Dominica. And I can say it no easier, I can say it no better. Because time after time after time, we are seeing how the police in Dominica, some of them that is,
Yeah, not all.
take our human rights in Dominica and trample on it as if, well, we don't have rights. And if they say, let me give Mr. what's his name, Tyron Anthony, credit or kudos for what I'm going to say now.
Before I continue, let me see some of what you guys are saying. No audio, it's okay now. Okay, so everybody's here in the audio, everything is flowing well. Okay, loud and clear, but don't forget here, exit the live chat to click thumbs up, then return to the live chat. Yeah, you guys can just click the thumbs up button. I don't think you really have to exit it. You just scroll down and then, yeah. But I appreciate you guys remind. Oh, 53 of you guys are in the building. Big up to every single one of you guys. I tend to wait for 50 something to start. But those of you who came late, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that right there. And of course, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually on my phone. I'm carrying me right now. And I'm, of course, on the computer. I'm no longer on the webcam. Although I like my webcam, you know what? I just had to say this right there. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button. I would appreciate that right there. I was hearing, but it went off. Yes, I actually clicked something because I was hearing double in my ears from the audio. But I say maybe that's from the computer itself. Oswald, bro, how can we contribute to your page? Well, if you guys are linked on YouTube, you can actually send funds for me on YouTube. They are called stickers, I think, or thanks. Or you can just go to my PayPal and send me some stuff. All the links of that will be in the description if you guys want to check them out right there. All links of everything that if you want to send it via PayPal, or if you want to send it via, what do you call that again? Zelle. Is it Mo Banking? Yeah, Mo Banking. I don't know if Mo Banking is inside there, but yes, guys, if you want, you can just check the links in my description, and you can always send some contributions of sorts if you want to right there. Anyways, guys, let's continue right there.
Because that is a phrase constantly on his tongue. And if they say coming shadows, coming events, cast their shadows. That is one thing. But if the event is already upon us, like we are witnessing now,
it is, definitely.
And we are preoccupied, busy, looking for the shadows of these coming events, then we are much too late. And that is where we are, people. And so the Gestapo type of officers that we have in the police force today, posing or passing as police officers, usually always come to people's home to harass them in the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah. We heard of Brian Linton. Brian Linton is one of the individuals that they tend to do this to.
One of the hallmark. That was one of the characteristics of the real Gestapos then. And that is what we are seeing in Dominica today. Time will not permit me to go into every detail as to when these guys show up at people's home when people are unattended and they're basically trying to get up from their sleep. That is how they operate. And the latest being Athi Martin, a man in Dominica who continue to work for and on behalf of his country. A man who worked on behalf of his country already, and now he's in his twilight years, still have breath, and decide to speak truth to power. He's the latest victim of the harassment by the Gestapos of Dominica posing as police officers.
True.
In addition, his wife. And so my heart, yes, goes out to the latest victims of the Gestapos at this time. The Gestapos, for some of you who have not heard, the same Gestapos that I spoke of, here where I am tonight, they came here already in terms of the harassment of me speaking my mind as a Dominican. So I'm not saying something that I have not experienced or gone through. The wrath of the Gestapos in Dominica. I am talking from a position of fact and experience. They say, who feels it knows it. And there are countless other people in Dominica that have been and are still going through the harassment of these Gestapo-like officers in what we call the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force. Not the Commonwealth of Dominica Military Force. It is the police force. Or it's supposed to be the police force. But of late, we are seeing things changing before our very eyes. Dominicans, if you guys choose to cast a blind eye or turn away from your reality, I am not. And I will not. I choose not. As a patriotic Dominican of my land, as a nationalist of my land, I will always speak truth to power in spite of. And as I said, whoever don't like it, then that is for you. And so whatever you choose to do, that is left to you.
Yeah.
But the God-given voice that is within me and the conscience that is placed there, I will not stand by and see my country going down a very turbulent road and play like a Saul with my two eyes on one side. No way.
Guys, people apparently don't seem like they care. I'm guessing they're probably thinking because the government doesn't care, why should they care? But they don't realize although the government might not care or is stated to have not cared, whatever happens to Dominic as a result of their decisions is going to happen to you. Nobody else, not him, not them, you. I hope you know when they're taking loans and all these things there, you know they have to put it on the people's back to pay it back, right? It's kind of like having servants out there and saying, boy, I go and take this thing. How am I going to pay it back? How am I going to look? What am I going to do to pay this back? No, that's not how the government operates. The government knows that it doesn't have to pay anything back from itself. It has its loyal subjects out there who has the money value, whatever it is. I mean, if you're making a dollar with 50,000 people is about 50,000. $10 amongst 50,000 people is $500,000. So might as well charge these people $100, $5 million so that they can pay back every time. Not from their money, it comes from you as a collective group of people to then be responsible for the decisions that the government makes, whether it's positive or negative. And in Dominica case, we see a lot of negatives, brothers and sisters, because Dominica is not making surplus and we are going to places to try to find monies because we already used out our resources. We have reached to the brim of what we can do, and therefore we are going to go to other places so that we can get monies. And then guess what? They're going to put that burden on you. So just keep that in mind, okay, brothers and sisters?
And that is why.
Hold on, let me see what some of you guys are saying right there. My Dominican people knows. Jerry Nelson is saying, my Dominican people knows that they're looking at all what's going on in other countries. When our own getting worse, yet they're scared for action. Well, I think most of them know what's going on. But then they will make the claim and say, but it happening in other countries too. Doesn't make any sense. Malad, big up yourself one time. I either never bow. Yeah. I call them those mongoose gang. They should go help the Haitian people.
I choose to speak each and every time. And I would not sleep good tonight if I did not come and basically exhale, as it were. Because injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Yep.
And so it is Arthur Matte's turn today and his wife.
Then
it was other people's turn then. Tomorrow, it may be yours.
Yep.
Under the Gestapo-like regime, that is passing for the police force, directed by the political directorate of this blessed land. Dominica, Dominicans, friends, and fools alike, because I know you guys are there as well.
Oh yeah, they're there.
It was about 6:30 Sunday morning. The Martyrs woke up with this usual, arrival of the Gestapos. Inquired what they came for, who they came for, what they're looking for, what is the purpose. The arrogance started. As a result of their claim, and that's a claim, as ludicrous as it may sound, that is their claim. They claim that the people, the foreigners, the Americans who were residing at Afi's place, when they came in on Friday on their private planes and docked these planes at the Canfield airport, gone through immigration, declared what they have, said where they were going to stay and everything. So everything was cleared then. And they were released to go. Only to find out that the Gestapos, I call them, some of them, they were seen in the very same vehicle, that same old gray bus, something 752 or whatever it is, were roaming that place in the Girodel area a number of times before they finally couldn't take it again and said, let us move in.
So it seems like they were watching them. They had their eye on them, watching their every move in silence. And then decided, hey, let us wake up in the morning, go in the morning around 6 something in the morning on Sunday, and take them from their slumber. And do what? Detain them. All right.
And so it was not just a situation where what they claim or what they claimed to have been investigating, that wasn't the case. They were seen, or at least the bus that they were traveling in was seen a number of times patrolling in that area before that Sunday morning. The people came in Friday, gone. Cleared immigration, there was no query, basically stated where they were staying, and they came into the country to have the vacation and help us in Dominica in terms of the tourism product. And based on what I'm getting, these persons were not Joe Blues, as we say in Dominica. They were high, reputable people who chose to come to Dominica to help us in this country through a very struggling and stagnated economy that we have here. And so they came to help us, at least at the Martins and whoever, the cleaners, the people who cook, the people who wind and dine. They
create jobs, yeah.
Economically.
Yeah.
No. Hear the claim, people. Hear the claim. The claim by the Gestapos said that when these people cleared immigration at Canfield, their passports were not stamped and signed by the immigration or an immigration officer. I'm going to drink some water because I need that to sink in. Take a little 15 seconds for that to sink in. As nonsensical as it sounds, that was their claim. They are investigating a matter as to how and why these people's passports were not stamped and signed by an immigration officer. That is what they claim they were investigating. And in the process of that investigation, spoke to one man in primarily, and then after they rounded up the crew of 7, detained these people, because once you're in police custody, you are not free to go.
Yeah.
Your liberty, your freedom is taken away from you. And so these people
And it's
were
not just that
police.
though. And it's not just that though, guys. When you're detained, you're supposed to know the reason why you are being detained. Based off the reaction I did earlier on, brothers and sisters, and of course the Brian individual who was part of that 7, he indicated to us that he had no clue why they took them. No clue. Zero, brothers and sisters. Up to today, they have no clue why they were taken.
Custody for 7 hours counting, from 6:29, round it up at 6:30 in the morning. And so if you have a claim, you are investigating, 7 people came to your country, Americans at that, and their passports were not signed and stamped as they enter in the country. People here with me tonight, who is to blame for that?
Good question right there.
And that is why I just could not.
Guys, who do you blame for this, man? Who do you blame? I think that is a good question when it comes down to the person that is responsible for arresting them or detaining them. Who do you blame for that?
Could not fathom that situation, and it was bothering me for the entire day. And if I went to sleep tonight, and God forbid I passed in my sleep, I wanted you to hear that, because it that could have, I just couldn't go and sleep with that in my chest. If you are saying your immigration,
I like that. Jerry Nelson is saying some people don't love America, but they're going to make their babies there. As you mentioned that, I remind myself of the Prime Minister. Now, brothers and sisters, I would understand if the Prime Minister was, a normal minister and, he couldn't control things in the country. So he decides to make his children born overseas. He had the ability to do so. Or, he's just a normal citizen. Hey, things not going well in the country. Let me make my kids born in Dominica. The sitting Prime Minister of a country refused to let his children born in the country that his Prime Minister too made them born overseas. And that doesn't tell the Dominican people how this Prime Minister views the very country when he allows his children to gain citizenship in another land while he is Prime Minister. Let's continue.
Did a boo-boo like that, you first have to go to your immigration officer or officers and get an explanation from them.
Yep.
And as protocol would have it in terms of work ethics, some head or heads should roll from there.
Of course. Some people should be fired forthwith.
You guys allowed 7 people in the country and not stamp and sign their documents.
Facts.
And so he's on that very deceptive claim that some of the members of the Gestapo force in Dominica chose to woke up these people, harass these people, brought them into a sort of detained position.
They were detained.
Or situation for 7 hours plus. And some Dominicans, when I posted what I posted yesterday, some Dominicans still have the unmitigated gall, the audacity,
yes,
the lameness of mental faculties to come and write under my post, oh, if there's a problem, everybody needs to be investigated. What utter rubbish. So there are some people to tell me, when I post my stuff and they come under it and talk their gibberish,
rubbish,
I don't waste my time and respond, because
irrevocable foolishness sometimes they come and speak. I mean, sometimes when I look at the comments and I wonder if these people are sane, especially when they don't seem to have understood what is being stated and then they make comments. Sometimes I know back in the day there was some individual, I think it was, let me not mention a name, I think the person made a new account because I blocked them and they're back again to talk more nonsense on my things. I just figured, let me just leave them and let you guys handle these people when they're talking nonsense in my comments, which kudos to you guys for definitely doing that right there. So less work for me to do in that regard right there. But people sometimes they don't think, they just
I have better things to do. So those of you who are not cool with what is going on, those of you who are not in tune with what is going on in your country as it pertains to the brutality of what we are going through, get up to speed. I know some of you, because of your political blinders that you have on, then everything and anything, it takes a political connotation. I understand that. So it's on that premise, I even choose sometimes to go down that road with you guys, because I know exactly where you guys are coming out. But it will be you in one situation like that.
Oh yes.
Someday or the other.
One day. Just like I keep mentioning about the nurses speaking, brothers and sisters. The nurses came to protest. Nothing happened, apparently, because we still have the same problem today. The police came to protest. Nothing happened with them either. Look, they pushing boss in Roseau now. They don't protest yet. Okay. They protest back then. Things get worse. And they apparently don't want to protest again. Teachers have protested. Truck drivers protested. DJs have protested. Little ones have protested because they want better. Brothers and sisters, which sector in Dominica has not protested? Which? Name one sector in Dominica that has not protested. Name one. Because to me, every single sector known to Dominica has protested. Sector and non-sector. Keep that in mind.
So if there was a query, if there was reason or rationales why this person should not be admitted in the country, that should have happened right on the desk or in a room or at the Kenfield airport where these people came through.
Facts. And they should not be permitted to go in. But they were permitted to go in. Therefore, there seems to have been some other agenda.
Because there must be a form that you must fill out, whether online or in print, or we have in the Dominica in hard copy. There must be a form. So if
however, they tend to, like I said before in the previous reaction, different spheres of people have different protocols. So just keep that in mind.
You as an immigration officer have any query or any, questions as to what are the 7 Americans all of a sudden descending in Dominica coming to do, that is your job. You question them, whatever it is from there. If after your interrogation you find, something, it cannot cut based on what they say, then you tell these people, we are not admitting you in the country. You have to leave.
Simple. You cannot be in and then they take in.
But to have these people enter your country, give them that false sense of security that all is well and all will be well. And when they are spending their money, enjoying nature at its best, with Faye and Afi being excellent hosts, and other people as well involved in the procedure, involved in the process of having them entertain themselves. You guys are spying on them, like the Gestapos. I have to call that out, people.
Now, guys, it's also very interesting. He's talking about spying. Like he indicated right there, they made them come through. They made them come through. They were in already. And keep in mind, 2 of these individuals came to Dominica previously before in the same manner. They came in the same manner, which means that they never had any issues with them. And of course, one of the main individuals, who I think is Brian, he actually helped Dominica develop after Hurricane Maria, contributing back to Dominica, helping, doing things in a number of schools, building whatever they have to build, and even helping badwill them to organize some sort of thing that they will be able to communicate after there's some sort of hurricane. And it seems like this hurricane season is going to be a very interesting one because of what we notice when it comes down to the different high intensities and the heat format. If you look at the water, that's a whole set of thing to talk about right there. But they contributed to Dominica. The main individual, Brian, has been coming to Dominica since 2003. 2003, he has been coming to Dominica. Same way, no issues, nothing. All of a sudden, there's some sort of spying going on. Well, brothers and sisters.
And the world must know what is happening in Dominica. Dominica is not a bubble. We are not living in a little private bubble.
Yep, that's what they're trying to have Dominica as. Nobody should talk about what's happening in Dominica. If you talk about what is happening in Dominica, you are actually doing bad for Dominica. Even though the leaders are literally killing Dominica, you should stay quiet. That is what they're telling you. We can destroy Dominica if we want to. We are the prime minister, we are the government. We can destroy Dominica and you should stay quiet. And when you go outside and say, hey guys, look at what is happening in Dominica. Somebody, we need help, mes amis. We need help. Look at what is happening, because apparently the people are defeating themselves. They cannot even help themselves. keep in mind when slavery was happening, brothers and sisters, slavery was happening for a particular reason, you know. The slaves outnumbered the oppressors. The outnumbering of oppressors didn't stop them from being slaves, you know. They maintained in themselves that this is how we are. Just like when Harriet Tubman came and said, I freed hundreds of slaves and could have freed thousands more if only they knew that they were slaves.
And so everything that happens here cannot and should not stay here. The world have to know what is happening in this land called Commonwealth of Dominica.
Of course.
They have to. And with the advent of social media, it is at the click of a button.
Oh yeah. It's very strong.
So when it is good, I say it is good. When it is negative, I say it is negative. When it is rough, I say it is rough. That's it. And so these people, after they went through that level of harassment by the Gestapos, then they had no choice. They felt threatened for their life. And so they had to make arrangement to be out of this place on the first flight that was available out of this country.
They went to St. Thomas. That's what they said. They said they didn't feel safe anymore. And when they arrived in St. Thomas, they had a sense of relief. Imagine one of the individuals that came to Dominica with his son, so that he can have a father-son moment. Just enjoy nature, going to the rivers, going to the seas, the rivers, the sulfur spas, all these things. Enjoying with his son before his son goes back to States and then goes off into college, and he won't see his son for quite a while. Maybe he'll be able to talk over the phone with him, and that's it. Now they have to go back to the United States, knowing that they went to jail, brothers and sisters, or they were detained. Interesting times that we're living in, brothers and sisters. Very interesting time right there. Silk Asara, big up yourself one time. Continue doing the music scene, making them know what is happening, bro. Hey, Las, help us, Abba Father, help us. Big up Silk Asara.
And so imagine now the kind of psychological and emotional impact that situation had on these people. Well, some of us, we are going through it every day. So we are now coming immune to that kind of treatment.
And that is the most dangerous part of being a human. Knowing that something is wrong. You know it's wrong. There are many people who have risen up. You yourself might have risen up, constantly going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, to the point where you feel defeated. Not just being defeated, you know, brothers and sisters, but generally start accepting that this is your life. Brothers and sisters, I would like you guys to go on YouTube and search, after this video, search for the monkey experiment, the monkey and the banana experiment, and you realize that that is how conditioning happens, brothers and sisters. People are acting in ways, for example, the income tax thing. That's one of the things that always struck me. Let's bring it to Dominica. The VAT thing that was supposed to be it was not supposed to be continuing as long as it is today, brothers and sisters. It was supposed to be for a short time. I think 8 months to about, say, 2 years. Around that, it was supposed to be. It is still continuing today. People are looking to pay VAT, not realizing that they should have stopped a long time ago, just like income tax. Income tax was supposed to be for a little while and stop. To the point where people are accepting that this is the normal when it was never supposed to be the normal in the first place.
But these people, they are new kids on the block. They are fresh kids on the block to that kind of treatment. And so imagine the ruffling of their feathers they may have gone through in terms of an experience. And so they chose not to spend a next day in Dominica. They left this morning, first flight out. And I can tell you people, these 7 Americans, they are not going to take it lying down.
Oh no. Because one thing I remember one of them was saying, guys, in the reaction I did today, they're saying, well, we did nothing wrong, yet still we have a bill to one of the lawyers that we have to take to secure us. They have a bill that they now have to pay to the lawyer because of what the government or whoever, the police force, whoever is responsible for this, had done. They now have a bill to pay lawyers. Who should pay the lawyers, brothers and sisters? Who do you think should pay the lawyer fees? Who? Ernst Philip is saying, my people stay strong. My people don't have to stay strong. I don't think they are strong. They need to get strong so that they can stay strong. Right now, the people are defeated. They're not strong at all. People stay strong where? They are defeated. Therefore, they need to get strong, brothers and sisters. That's what needs to happen right here. China have no law for blacks. I don't trust them, not even though they say they care. I only have family. First of all, when it comes down to China, look at how China treating the people. They have to constantly be working. Chinese women love black men. I can tell you that for sure. Chinese women love black men. I was going to say something about the opposite, what is happening in Africa, what they tend to do so that the newborn babies can take over and then, they're under the ruling of China. But let me leave that alone, brothers and sisters. But I think it's very interesting what is going on, and I think we should really pay attention to this thing right now.
Number of persons have said already, and I concur. I think this time around, the regime, guided by the Gestapos, guided by the regime, the rogue regime, they have played their cards a little too hard this time. They have played their cards a little too hard this time.
And the thing is, Dominica doesn't seem to realize. Well, scared them probably think because they're associated with certain people that nothing is going to happen to them. They're going to have you as their slave. You don't realize that? They're just waiting for you to topple over so that they can have you as their slave. You see what they do in the BVI premier, the former BVI premier? You see what they do in him? Okay.
And so I can tell you straight up, based on confirmed reports, these people representatives in Bridgetown, they were briefed on the matter. Comprehensive explanation was given, and so they are looking into that matter very, very seriously. Where's my telephone? Right there. Brian, the seven people, the seven Americans who came into Dominica on Friday. Their names are Brian Lloyd. You guys can look it up. Don't take my word. Look up these guys. They are all professionals in their own rights, and so they are all on social media. And
there's also one of them who is an appeal judge in the United States.
You will see the type and caliber of persons that were harassed, intimidated by the Gestapos of Dominica. Yeah? Brian Lloyd. You have Mr. Faye, his surname spelled MC, like Mac, Cullough. That is Mac Cullough. Yeah? Faye Macalau. All right? We have number 3, Jeffrey Carpenter. And Jeffrey Carpenter, in my mind and in a lot of Dominicans' mind, he stands out. In that this brother is a sitting judge at the appeals level in North Carolina. Go look him up, Mr. Jeffrey Carpenter. His name is just Jeff Carpenter. Hear his utterances. See his words. And so when the Gestapo type of police officers in Dominica can detain a sitting appeals judge in America for 7 hours, you know the subjects in Dominica are like peanuts.
Boy, I tell you.
Are like corn before fowls. So Dominicans, you better watch it. Yeah.
Hey guys, I appreciate you guys for definitely being a part of this year reactions. I would like you guys, there's like 120 of you guys here. Please click the thumbs up button. Can you guys click the thumbs up button for me right now? I know some of you guys watching from your television. A lot of you guys are watching from your television, but still guys, go ahead, go on your phone, go on BrBpTV, click the video, click the thumbs up button right there. A lot of you guys who are typing in the live chat, you can just scroll down and just click the thumbs up button right there. It doesn't take much, guys. It's very easy to do. And of course helps the algorithm on YouTube to push these videos further and further. YouTube tends to perform best as a result of the interaction that it gets. So yes, it pays high attention to the audience retention, but it also looks at the interaction as well. So I would appreciate if you guys click the thumbs up button. Doesn't take much, just click the thumbs up button. Thanks so much for you guys clicking the thumbs up button. 13 of you guys click the thumbs up button. Yes guys, just click the thumbs up button, man. It doesn't take much. Right there. When we reach 50, we'll continue, guys. So just click the thumbs up button right there, guys. Doesn't take much to do. Somebody unlike somebody take on the thumbs up. Guys, click the thumbs up button so you can continue this thing right there. Somebody must have forgotten that they clicked the thumbs up button and went to click the thumbs up button and apparently inadvertently take out the thumbs up button. But click the thumbs up button, guys. Okay, let's continue right there.
That is why I said this is not going to go down very nice. So imagine the write-up, imagine the pushback, imagine the consequences that will come Dominica's way as a result.
Yes, we Rasta Oze don't understand this. These folks, you know, they're watching for free. I put this out there. What I could have done, I could just leave this for subscribers only to watch. I decided to leave it open and then leave the subscribing charts for individuals. Just click the thumbs up button. That is all individuals have to do. And people find that a difficult task to do. That's crazy, man. Just click the thumbs up button. Click. I'm not asking for money, none of that stuff. Helping the channel to organize itself, guys. Anyways, let's continue.
And I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. Fourth on the list, Mr. Hugh Carpenter. Number 5, Brother James Bushnell. 6, Amber Bushnell. And 7, Jeremy Bushnell. So the question now to the Gestapos of Dominica. What is it that these 7 people who came to Dominica to enjoy their stay in Dominica, what is it that you guys were harassing these people for? And that lame duck excuse about their passports were not signed and stamped, it cannot cut it.
Only a fool would believe that nonsense. Only a literate fool would believe that foolishness right there, brothers and sisters.
And I am prepared to say, just like the Gestapos used to work back then, that maybe could have been a ploy that you guys adopted or concocted to harass these people.
And it seems like this is not the first one. Remember the Jason Grog story, guys? Well, that situation is in Washington. And lo and behold, bow, they get another report of 7 Americans who have a level of prestige to their names being detained by Dominican authorities. For what reason? We are yet to know. Or do you think that Dominica, this is why I always ask myself the question, if they're trying to do this and they let Ross go, isn't there something fishy that is happening in Dominica? Why they are constantly looking at, hey, we should try to, keep these people down. To the point where maybe something else is happening behind closed doors and they don't want anybody to find out what is happening. Brothers and sisters, I think there's something fishy happening in the Chinese embassy. That's my personal view. But there's something fishy happening inside there.
I'm putting nothing past you guys. That most likely could have been a ploy and a plot not to sign passports, not to stamp their passports, so you guys will have a little leverage to do what you guys are accustomed of doing. But one day, you guys will have your day. And those who are pushing you to do this foolishness, those who are pushing you to insult people, to intimidate people, to trample on people's rights, human rights at that, you guys will pay.
Oh, yes.
There's no two ways about it.
Pay severely. It's just unfortunate that
So just like the Nuremberg trial was held,
the Dominican people are the ones who will pay severely for the actions caused by the inactions of those who knew better.
in the 40s, and it clamped down and jailed these Gestapo members, some of them. Some of them are still on the run today, but they are hunting them down.
Oh, yeah.
You guys, some of it may be too late already. But those of you who are still on the verge, you have a little time.
That's true.
This thing is very upsetting. It's very upsetting for people to come in a country and they are being harassed on lame duck claim or claims. You guys, if your claim was true, you guys should have gotten your immigration officer with their stamp and their pen and go up to Exotica and knock on these people's door at least 10 o'clock in the morning, not 6:30 in the morning, and say, guys, I am very sorry, we are part of the immigration office, police, blah, 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 whatever it is. We are sorry, a mishap happened. Unfortunately, you guys' passports were not stamped and signed, and so we came here. We came to you. To get whatever it is rectified.
Simple.
And all will be well.
But apparently they were circling them. And that's the thing that we need to notice, brothers and sisters. They apparently were spying on them and then realized, hey, let us go in right now. So it has nothing to do with immigration passport, brothers and sisters, that they signed or couldn't sign. They didn't have to take them inside to detain them, for them to be asking them questions for 7 hours. If there is a problem and they know these people tend to come in, they ask them what they're doing, what have you, brothers and sisters, and they say that the immigration, as a result of them not stamping passport, they came to correct that mistake that they have made. Why did they take them to then have them under some questioning? Why? It's not like they made the mistake now. If nobody stamped them, it was your fault, immigration's fault for that. Yet still you take them to bring them police station to, for what? But then you guys were circling them and boss passing up and down to see what's going on. Okay. But the police themselves said, had the indication that they were very uncomfortable doing this. Very uncomfortable. So you're trying to talking about law and all you living lawlessly. The police is who's supposed to keep the law is living lawless, doing lawless business for whoever is sending them to do it. Okay.
Cannot tell me your officers as you claim, and some of these lame duck officers themselves. I ain't putting nothing past them too. Some of them. So if you guys knew it was a plot, you guys need to stand for country and say it was a plot.
Yep, I agree.
Say it was a plot. The reprisal will be great, but at least you speak your mind and let the people know, you let the world know what is up. Because this thing just kind of jive.
It's not adding up at all.
Plausible or responsible action taken by a police force. It just kind of cut it. No way you dice it and slice it, it just cannot mesh.
Nope, not at all.
Where in the world that thing happened? Where?
It's interesting that people saying, I think there was some fool, people have their own comments and stuff. I think it was somebody that was making the claim that saying, oh, they are Americans. If they was in their country, they would be doing the same thing. What? I think that person was trolling, so let me not even bother with that person. Let's continue.
Where in the world would that happen?
Nowhere.
Other than this little, whatever it is. And Dominicans, we're in a rough path. Very rough path. So as I was saying before, imagine the mental stress that these people would have gone through. You came to Dominica, of everywhere in the world you could go and spend your money. You chose here. You come to spend your money, and that is the kind of treatment you're getting.
And the thing is, the man has been contributing to Dominica. The man wanted to bring more people in May. He wanted to bring about 10 to 15 planes to Dominica to bring some level of tourists, more money coming into the country. We're not the best in tourism in Dominica, Miss Ami. That is the best thing you decide to do. Boy, I tell you, boy.
Man, these people need to peace on this country. I can tell you. I am part of it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
They need to peace on this Gestapo force.
Yep. They need to expose everything. I know there's a number of them that are doing that at present as a result of what has happened before in times past. This is the new one. This is the newest one that has happened. OCCRP exposed what is happening outside. Dominicans don't make no noise. It's interesting though. Dominicans lose visa-free access to United Kingdom. They don't make noise. They lose it for Ireland. They don't make noise. They lose Ross. They don't make noise. Brothers and sisters, I mean, they lose agri. Gasal, let me continue.
And trust me, I personally, it's like, I cannot tell the Americans what to do, but to me, something needs to be done, my friend. The same measures you guys are taking against ISIS and Hamas and Hezbollah and King Jong-un, and you guys need to take some action against the Gestapo-like people in Dominica and the regime. And I'm saying that with no reservation. These guys are crossing the line now, and they need to know when.
Well, you saying that without any reservation, but you calling them Gestapos. You should just say the government. You should call them by name. If it's Skerrit, say Skerrit. If it's the government, say the government. Don't say the Gestapos. I understand the system, but you know. Just say
and
it.
to stop.
But he's right.
And stop the mass.
Because the only people that will be affected is not Skerrit, them, you know. Not the police force, although the police force might not get raised because the country not making much money. It's you. Who you think has to pay it? You. Brothers and sisters, you understand what I say there? You that have to pay it. You.
A sitting judge. A man of impeccable character. That thing is just blowing my mind, people. But it should not blow my mind that much, you know, people. Coming to think about it. Because I have had an experience myself. And that is why sometimes when I speak, I really go deep. I don't speak about things I don't know about. I don't dabble in things that I don't know about. If I don't know, I seek the necessary information from the professionals or from whoever is expert in the field. But when I speak my guts. I speak from experience, people. So what happened to these people there on Sunday by Afi? And what is going on with other people in terms of Americans being citizens of citizenship? It is no surprise. You know a man, and that implies a woman as well. You know who they are by the company or companies that they keep.
True. Birds of a feather flock together.
And so if we know our government in Dominica very well, anything and everything that has to do with America, there is a sort of hands-off approach. And that is a fact.
Facts.
Anything to do with China, the Republic of China, anything that has to do with Venezuela, anything that has to do with North Korea, anything that has to do with Russia, anything that has to do with...
Well, that Russia one day, I always be mindful of including Russia in certain things because I don't want...
the governments around the globe that is repressive, that is oppressive, and will trample on human rights. That is where the elements of our government tend to line up with. Your prime minister today, or what passes for prime minister, I heard he has a delegation of 20 people, plus his wife, in China as we speak, getting red carpet treatment. And so what I'm telling you, the proof is in eating of the pudding.
Getting red carpet treatment for what? What have you done in Dominica that will warrant you getting red carpet treatment? Or maybe because you are their servants and they are rewarding you well enough because you've obeyed them. Who is Dominica owing the most when it comes down to their brothers and sisters? China. Where is the government now in China? What are they doing in China? Trying to get more resources? you don't think that's fishy or sorts? Understanding the record that China have, debt traps, all these things, the country is not making surplus at all, and you want more grants and loans, and you already owe them the most in debt. I don't know, something wrong with Dominicans. Something definitely wrong.
I'm not making up anything. That is the government's friends. From timely memorial, that is its friends. And so it is no rocket science situation. It is not scientific at all that it will have its Gestapo force line up in such a way like these other countries have their officers brutalize people, trample people's rights in more ways than one. And the immunity, most of the times, that goes with that. So these guys feel emboldened. That is happening in Russia. It is happening in King Jong-un country. It is happening all over the globe that we have diplomatic relations with. Don't talk about China. Don't talk about China. Show me your friends, I'll show you who you are. And I can tell you from...
Big up Ruby. The Ruby Emil, big up yourself one time. We are associated with some of the top most dangerous countries and leadership. The powers that would eat their own young, yeah. I think China is definitely one of them. I think so. Venezuela. Jerry Nelson is saying, boy, so much illegal things going on, yet the mongoose gang going after the wrong people. It's not that they're going after the wrong people, they're going after the right people. They're going after the right people so that they can make sure that they keep the right people down. It's not the wrong people they're going after the right people. Don't fool yourself. They're going after the right people so that they can keep the right people down and make the right people look like fools in the sight of their own people. Because remember, their own people don't think thoroughly. They just accept whatever is being pushed to them. So when their leaders are constantly calling people ugly and talking about people's nose and watching cartoons and all those kind of foolish things, making them look like joke in their eyes, that helps to keep the right set of people down. So it's not the wrong set of people they're going after the right ones.
From the grapevine that there are a number of initiatives, and that is people who working in the ministry and other areas this information is coming from. So go and hunt them down now and ask them where Lofty get that information. Go and hunt them down and fire everybody in the ministry now. There are a number of people in the ministerial positions that says, Lofty, you know something? The Americans wanted to do this, but no response. The Americans wanted to do that, but no response. Or a very tardy response. The latest, our Coast Guard base, that was repaired fully by the Americans. Did you guys heard any big hue and cry about the Americans helping us to build back our base after the destruction of Maria? Nothing.
I didn't hear that, no? Did you guys? Because I didn't.
Nothing like that. But that is their stamp of approval right there. They helped restore that base with a WAF and everything. You remember that little wooden cushion we had there? Looking like a drug dealer's exit and entrance. But you did not hear that. That did not make news.
Nope.
But if it was China or King Jong-un or someone like Vladimir Putin or others,
don't associate Vladimir to that, please.
Do that, then maybe.
Do not associate Putin to those things there, please. Western media can be very dangerous. That's all I'm saying. All right.
A plaque depicting their work would have been installed or erected around the vicinity of that WAF. And so I'm saying, based on what I'm saying, there is a deliberate attempt to erase everything and anything in terms of help that goes along where America or the free world or the freer world is concerned. I know some of you may have objections to that, but that is for another discussion as to who is really free and who not free.
Well, under the Democratic Party, America not as free as it used to be now. Hey, that self is a problem. Biden. Right.
But that will suffice for tonight. So before the arresting of these people,
And keep in mind, not just Biden, Canada too.
and they will want to put it now in their nice apologetic terms and tones. These people were not arrested, they were just brought in for questioning, the investigation that was happening, and blah, blah, blah. These people were arrested. They were arrested. They were detained and arrested for 7 hours plus. That is the long and short of the story. After the long Gestapo-like interrogation, they came up with nothing. And the Gestapo force, they had no choice but to put their tails between their legs, release these people, and let these people go.
Up to now, they don't even know why they were detained. Up to now. Can you imagine that? Usually when you are detained, they tell you the charge that you are detained for. This is why in my case, when I was detained, we asked them what we are being detained for. They couldn't answer, to the point where they heard the law on the phone. They said suspicion of suspicion. Okay. So they had to tell them why they were detained. Apparently they didn't tell them why they were detained, because I heard the interview. Apparently nobody knew why they were detained in the first place. And then they came and told them about how sorry they are and this kind of things there. I understand certain white people are nice people and they wouldn't, they would just accept. Oh, they were seem to be sincere in their apology. No, they weren't.
And the concoction now will come around, whereby they will use an element or elements of the Ministry of Tourism now, which they know will suffer a blow.
No.
And will want to use one of their architects in there.
Well, the only people that are going to suffer as a result of tourism is the Dominican people. That's who's going to suffer. Anything that happens as a result of whatever these guys do is the Dominican people that are going to suffer. You think is dead? You guys that paying their salaries, we only forget, man. Whether you want to or not, you paying their salaries. You see, they take 30% increase to 50% increase salary. You see what they did? And you crying to complain and say, hey, look, tomorrow they're trying to talk about salary increases and appointments and all sorts of things they want to do tomorrow. You complaining that you don't getting salary increases. They're increasing their own salaries because they want to. And you think they have your best interest in mind? Okay.
To come and offer a very deceptive apology. But damage has already been done.
Oh, yes.
And so no amount of excuse now will cut it. So to me, it's better you guys just stay quiet and just brace yourself for the pushback.
But that's what they're going to do. They're going to stay quiet. And as humans, if you understand psychology, it'll blow over even 48 hours. It'll blow over in 48 hours. This is why I do the videos the way I do in them, So it'll surpass 48 hours. But then again, people still going to forget, generally speaking. But at least it'll be on there a bit longer. This is no mistake why I'm doing this now, guys. He did this on Sunday. I think he did this Sunday night. And they left Monday, or he did this on Monday. Let me see. 2 days ago. So he did it on Monday. And now I'm doing it on Wednesday. This is not by mistake.
Yeah? Just brace yourself. Now, just like how the Mr. Hitler himself and Mr. Vladimir Putin himself gives order or orders to their brutal force to clamp down on people's rights and to Mackwell, to VA, to have spies all over the place. Just like how they did it then, is so it has been done now in the country.
Do not put Putin in all your thing. I know too much information to know that there's some interesting thing happening while they're trying to put blames on Putin for reasons unknown to us. And when we find out, brothers and sisters, you'll understand why I'm saying this. The people you think might be innocent might not be as innocent as you think.
That's it. And so these Gestapos, they cannot move on their own order. They have to get that order from somewhere. And so you guys know very well where those orders will be coming from.
We all know where the orders came from. We all know. Even in the interview, the individuals stated that the police looked like they were very uncomfortable to do what they had to do there. Very uncomfortable. But you know what's going to happen, guys? As this continues, they're going to start to get comfortable in doing this. And then that's human understanding, pushing the envelope of uncomfortability. That's what's going to happen. They are uncomfortable doing certain things they know that is wrong to do until they get comfortable to do it. And then they're going to be pushing the envelope as a result of whoever is giving that order. That is what has happened to Dominica. You know, this is why Dominica is accepting their defeat. And they comforting themselves. Oh, it happened in other countries, so let it happen to us too. Okay.
As Bob Marley said, we cap fit. Trust me, let them wear it. I said I would belong to my Dominicans, but I must give you an experience of mine.
Talk to us.
So that you guys could understand exactly the point or points that I am driving home at you when I tell you that we have in Dominica a Gestapo-like police force. And so here goes my experience. Some of you haven't heard it as yet. I haven't made that public as yet. But I think timing is everything. And the time has come for me to release
Talk to us.
And relieve myself of what I've been holding there for some time. Dominicans, in 2020, December of 2020, I got a call from someone from the U.S. Embassy in Barbados. And she said, Mr. Dira, I am calling you on behalf of a program that the United States is running as it pertains to developing young and upcoming budding leaders around the world.
Well, I guess that's what he just recently did. But I actually had these calls twice. One was from United States and the other one was from Richard Branson, them team. So I think I know where he's going with this.
And based on our intel, based on persons we spoke to, based on the intelligentsia that they collected, Dominica, when they zeroed in on Dominica, my name came up high on the agenda as one of these upcoming and budding leaders that they would want to offer me that opportunity in that sort of leadership training aspect of it. I told the young lady, just give me some time, let me think about it, I'll get back to her. I did get back to her, and I told her, okay, no problem, I accept your offer. And so we started negotiations from there. That was in December of 2020. When that happened, certain elements of the regime, the rogue regime, basically went on a tirade. Oh, America recruited me as a spy. Oh, I went to do this. Oh, I went to do that. Oh, this is a whole sort of gibberish, which boiled down to rubbish. A matter of fact, these people told me straight up, whenever these courses or these workshops are offered to people around the world, they know some governments will not be in agreement for that. So they will do anything and anything to hinder the process. Yep. And so it is up to me. If I want to make that situation public before I leave Dominica, or leave it to them, they will break that news when everybody is sitting around a table and the first day of that leadership training course commence. I chose the latter. And so it was only when I was in America I saw DNO broke the news through their people that, 42 participants across the globe, Egypt, Russia, Zimbabwe, who else? We had a whole lot of people, Zimbabwe. I have a lot of friends, because we really made that network.
Me too.
From Germany, from Zimbabwe. I have a friend from Morocco. Yes, Morocco. And it's a whole Turkey, and it's just a whole lot of people. And so we created that network. We are still connected. I left Dominica the 11th of January 2021. The course commenced on the 13th of January 2021. It ended 31st of January 2021. So by the 1st of February, all of us were supposed to be out of the country because the visa that was approved for that program, it was just for that program. That's it. If you guys remember very well, it was just around that time the COVID phenomenon was breaking across the world. As a matter of fact, I got to know about COVID when the course was just winding up about the 29th, 28th, because there was a brother from China, forget his name now, that he was part of that course with us, and he basically was in kind of frantic mode. And he told me he's trying to call his people back home because he's hearing about a disease, and China's in lockdown, and that is where I got to know about Wuhan and whatever it is. But we were just wrapping up. So it was just about that time the COVID era was really kicking in. And so the 1st of February, yours truly departed from the US, Barbados, back to Dominica. When we left that leadership training program, and the leadership training program was, as it said, as it says still, a leadership training program. So all the people like the Brain and whoever was on Kyrie and was making a big hue and cry. Oh, I am a spy now for America and blah, 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 da, 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 da. They are.
I wonder if the Brain would then come on radio and say I'm a spy too. I wonder. The Brain, would you call me a spy? I know you watch my videos.
To watch me now and all kind of false allegations and accusations were flying around. But that's like water under the bridge. It was just a leadership training program. That's it. When we ended that project, the certificates, let me get the proof for you. Right? That's the certificate here.
Looks like mine.
Which reads, the United States Department of State, Bureau of Education and Cultural Affairs. This is to certify that Loftus Dere participated in the International Visitor Leadership Program on Volunteerism and Civic Action, January 13th. When I told you the course started, January 13th to January 31st, 2020. And it is signed by Anne, what's her name? Anne Grims, Director, Office of International Visitors. That's it. Okay? This, when the course was completed, that was not ready as yet. And so all the participants left America without receiving that in our hand to go. They said they would mail it or they'd get it to us via whatever it is. Yeah? There's this brother. His title, his professional title is, he is one of the political, whatever it is, that is designated from the United States, but based in Bridgetown, in the U.S. Embassy in Bridgetown. He's part of the political directorate, right? We met up in the United States. So when he was coming, we exchanged numbers, blah, blah, blah. When he was coming to Bridgetown, he said, Mr. Durant, the certificates are ready. Instead of me posting it to you, do you want me to hold it for you? I said, bro, that is perfectly fine, no problem with that. Because he told me he'll be coming down to Dominica on some mission with the government, and we could have a discussion and to give me the certificate. I told you, brother, no problem.
Rion Austri, big up yourself one time for definitely being a part of, those who want to know what's taking place in Elas, Dominica. Heavenly Symphony says, Kwapo smoke Dominica pipe tan. that they vote for. Well, that's true. The people are the ones to blame for this. Even though at the end of the day, it's the people at the top that are literally breaking the will of the people. And when the will of the people is broken, it's like a circle. You don't know who to blame, brothers and sisters. The people allowed themselves to be beaten, but they elected leaders to beat them. That's
The brother came into Dominica as promised and was living, or well, was taking up, he was being accommodated. And I'm going to leave the hotel name out for now because I don't want any negative connotation to drive in that hotel's way or direction. So I will leave it out for now. The brother was staying at a hotel. And he told me where he was and where can we meet, how can we meet, time and everything, blah, 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 blah. We arranged to meet. I met the brother on the time stipulated. We met in the open area of that hotel, in the public eye in that hotel. The brother brought what I showed you to me. We sat at a table having a discussion. When I reached at that hotel that afternoon about 1 o'clock, I am a person, I am very, very cognizant of my surroundings.
Yep. You have to.
And so whenever I go in an area, 30, 45 seconds into me approaching that area, there's a mental picture that is placed, or I picture in my mind and I can give a description of that place, at least 70, 75% correct.
Oh, so you're visual prowess as well. Okay.
Colors, objects, people, faces, numbers. That goes with me. And so once I stepped at that hotel that day about 1 o'clock, when I looked around, I saw a police officer sitting in a very conspicuous place at that hotel in the dining area. And my eyebrows were raised then at that sight. What I'm going to tell you, I really, truly cannot say for a fact that is what transpired, but as everything would have it, the ducks will always line up. And so 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes into the gentleman and I having a discussion in the public view, this gentleman that I'm speaking to, he got a call. And when he got the call, he excused himself. So Mr. Durham, come. When the gentleman came back to the table, I could see his demeanor changed. This was no longer the gentleman I was having this casual conversation with. His demeanor changed. All the gentleman was prepared to tell me then, Mr. Dira, I have to go. It's a very important of a call I got. I will have to go. I said, okay, no problem. The next time that gentleman spoke to me sometime after the fact of that whole awkward scenario, I pieced it together as to what happened. And so here it was. This police officer, if I give you his initials, you may know him too well. He was sitting in that very conspicuous, very low-key place. Yeah? In that hotel. On a little table in a corner. And I said to myself, and continue to say to myself today, that police officer was basically spying. He was like one of the Gestapos that is in the police force, spying on people who they deem to be whatever in their paranoia state of mind tells them these people are.
Another thing that they tend to do, guys, they tend to come to talk to you and smile and be friendly with you and this kind of things. So you will think that they are, not, but you can pick up on these things right there. They will come and smile and tag you and all this kind of things there, making you think that you're on their side, but they don't know who they are and where they represent and what they represent. So sometimes you just have to go along with them.
And so here he was sitting in that corner. When I came, I spotted him with a glass of juice, a very thin glass. And that glass of juice, it had to me what I suspected, passion fruit, yellow in nature. This glass was half glass when I came in. That's how observant I was. And that gentleman and I sat there for like 10 minutes. And that half glass of juice, it never dropped down a notch. The gentleman got the call. The gentleman left. I was leaving. And that glass of juice did not drop down a notch. And so it wasn't dying this brother was dying. It was a make-believe. But yours truly saw right through that from that day. And so from that day, people, I know in my mind that the Dominica police force, some of these guys, the Gestapo type, from which I'll be calling them from now on, they are being used to do the dirty work, the very dirty work of a very dirty rogue regime in Dominica.
Well, I mean, that has been obvious for quite some time. I mean, nothing new here. I guess you experience it, so that's a good thing that you can pinpoint. And you're very much aware of your surrounding, which is also a good thing. I'm like, I'm paranoia myself. Not really paranoid. I guess that's how I always was, But you always pay attention to your surroundings.
And so tourists, foreigners, listen to me very well. When you guys come in this country called Dominica, you have to be very careful as to what you do, how you do. Because there is a faction of the police force, which I am saying it is the Gestapo section, that will always be watching you, always be monitoring you. And their job basically is to spy on you, your every move, who you meet, who you don't meet, where you go, where you don't go, to bring back tales to the political directorate so that they can decide their next move. And so what happened to these peoples at Afi's place? When I heard that the bus that took them down for questioning made several wrongs prior in the vicinity of Afi's place, people saw them. It jogged back my memory to 2021 as to my experience with the Gestapo type regime in Dominica.
Guys, this is where I'm gonna stop this video right there, man. I mean, you guys pretty much get the whole gist of what is happening. It's very sad that this is how Dominica has, this is what Dominica has turned to, guys. It's very sad that this is what Dominica has been brought to, man. The interesting about the whole thing, guys, it's not like people making this up. They're making this stuff up to say, hey, let's try to make clicks. These are things that are literally happening right there. These are situations that different people experience, not just local people. And it's rather interesting, the locals who kind of defend themselves. That self is another story right there. Of course, we've heard situations where people have died under police custody and all these kind of things there, and these matters just vanish, vanish in thin air, or you hear certain things happening in the hospital and it just vanish, because they know who to target. They know who they can come and mess with, brothers and sisters. And this is why it's always good to have a community around you. When you have a community around you, people tend to look out to see what's going on, what's happening. And then if anything were to happen, they report the matter to further authorities, to real authorities that have an interest in that particular person. Right? It's good to see Lofty is part of the State Department as well. So that's a good thing. But when you look at what is happening in Dominica, brothers and sisters, you tend to wonder, what next? Or you never ask yourself them questions right there, or that question, that specific question. What's next? What's next? Brothers and sisters, you have asked yourself that question. What's next? According to my late friend who passed away, we had the funeral of him in Salisbury. You know what he stated his last words were? What's the plan? Brothers and sisters, what's the plan? What's next to happen for Dominica? We're watching Dominica go down the drain. Watching Dominican street stories like terror, a certain type of people have to be mindful on YouTube. They're watching Dominica, everything that happening, people complaining, truckers complaining, everybody complaining. And we don't seem to find the root of the problem is not the people per se, but it's the one causing the issues to happen. Even though the people vote for, remember guys, when the people vote, because we like to pinpoint and say, hey, it's the people, yes. But I'm sure the people do not vote for what is happening to them today. The problem is, every time election comes around, they're coming back to make it seem nice and dandy. Hey, nice and dandy. You go through 5 years of struggle. They're coming back for a few months. Nice and dandy. Ooh, things looking up. Just to bamboozle you into coming back again to think, hey, maybe things might be different this time. And this thing seems to be happening over and over. People having the hope. They want hope. They want something. They have the hope in their team, even though their team is beating them. Brothers and sisters, there's something called, I forget the word, where people tend to fall in love with their abuser. This is why most, if you look at the domestic violence relationships, the people who are being abused tend to go back to their abuser at least 3 or 4 times before they finally realize that they need to move out of that relationship. They abuse once, twice, thrice, 4 times before they realize, hey, but wait a while, this is not love, this is abuse. It seems like the same situation is happening in Dominica. They are abusing the people over and over, and they're hoping for betterment. We've seen it happening in front of us. People complaining about jobs, they want raises, all these things. Tomorrow, they're going to talk about the very thing when the government themselves have increased their salaries numerous times. They are the servants of the people, and the people begging. The people are begging for a raise. To the point where they're giving them raises that doesn't even meet inflation rates. When will the people wake up, man? That is what I really want to know right there, brothers and sisters. When will the people wake up? But then again, my heart of hearts is telling me the people are not asleep. They are just constantly going back to their abuser, hoping that the abuser will finally love them. It's interesting when you look at the dynamic of relationships and you look at it from a micro point of view to a macro point of view. That same abuse is happening on a macro point of view, brothers and sisters, because it's happening to the whole country. The people who are warning people seems to be the minority. It seems to be they are not. It's just that those who know better are staying silent, or they are benefiting from the very oppression that is taking place in the country. Look at Joseph Isaac. Joseph Isaac is a clear example. He came and he spoke truth to power. To the point where he was defeated, he has a prize. Now he's Mr. Speaker of the House. On what merit, brothers and sisters? Now today it's alleged that they are building some sort of big thing for him. So when you ask yourself, brothers and sisters, what is happening? You maybe have to sit down and start thinking and say, hey guys, maybe I should move away from my abuser. Maybe I should, I can't take blows. Let me just leave these abusers alone. Just like you guys are abusing my thing right now. Click the thumbs up button. I'm just playing, guys, but click the thumbs up button, guys. I would appreciate that right there. But it's just unfortunate, man, what is taking place. Thumbs up next. Yeah, guys, you guys thumbs up the channel for me, please. I know a number of you guys are click the thumbs up button. I appreciate that. But right now, we're supposed to have like 100 thumbs up right there. I know a number of persons were in there already. But guys, click the thumbs up button for me right there, man. Yes, thanks for that one person that's clicked the thumbs up button. If you have not clicked the thumbs up button yet, I would appreciate if you do so. And don't get me wrong, I know a number of you guys are watching from your televisions. It pretty much indicates this right there. I don't know how they're doing this, but they know, They know it's on your television. You watching. Some are watching on their phones, some are watching on their computers. So click the thumbs up button, guys. I would appreciate it right there. But there's something interesting and fishy going on in Dominica, man. But my heart of hearts is telling me that something is going on in that embassy there. Something is going on in that embassy there. Why on earth would they try to be targeting these Americans like this? Why? You never ask yourself that question. Why? They made Ross go away, guys. Ross vanished from Dominica way. Ross was Dominica owned, guys. Not just Dominica owned. Ross was a citizen of Dominica way. Ross was birthed as a result of Mr. Ross saying, hey, I want the students to experience what I've experienced in Dominica. The beauty, the gala, the glory. Even people who were in Barbados were saying, boy, I miss Dominica. Some of them came back to Dominica. I know I landed with some of them, you know, when they came. They were in Barbados. Some of them were on ships. When they had their different vacation or whatever, they came to Dominica. Experienced Dominica. They enjoyed Dominica for what Dominica is. It's unfortunate that the students who are in Barbados will never get to experience or truly get to experience what Dominica is. They will never get to experience that because of the decisions of the leaders of Dominica. It's rather interesting that we are hearing that he is now the number one owner, landlord owner, when he claimed to have kept the thing for the Dominican people. He claiming to keep the thing for the Dominican people, but the whole of Ross left Dominica to the point where they tried to get the citizens to try to sue Ross. And the citizens signed that paper. They signed it. The 40% GDP, 30 to 40% GDP, helping Dominica. The government caused them to leave. And the same citizens wanted to go after Ross. You see what is happening to Dominica? That is the full fault of the people. Yes, I understand the people being defeated, but it's the people that can't stop it from happening. And all the people are saying, boy, let me not vote. Actually, I was speaking to an individual today earlier on, saying, boy, people always saying they're not going to vote. I myself, I vote in there because I want to make sure Mr. come out there. If the thousands of people are saying, boy, what I voting for, it doesn't make sense to vote. If the thousands of people who are actually saying that they're not voting, going to vote, it'll make a difference, you know. You know that? It'll make a difference, guys. It's just unfortunate that we're not in a voting year. But guys, these are just my thoughts, man. These are just my thoughts. What are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts? Thanks for spreading the vibes, Rasta Aussie. Always battered wife syndrome. You got it right. Is it battered wife syndrome? Is that it? It could be something of that, because some of these girls, they're not wives. They just constantly go back to their abuser. They just constantly go back. So maybe that's what it's called. And Dominica is facing the same thing. I watch people I know saying, but we finally have a chance to do it again. I watch them, you know. After all this abuse they take, 2 elections, another election coming, they finally have a chance to rectify their wrongs. And what has been done was far worse than the past 2 elections. They are silent now. They don't want to make the change, you know. They're silent. You see humans? Humans, boy. Well, the same here, suspicion of suspicion, Papa. Yeah. They had me under suspicion of suspicion, Papa. But they'll see suspicion of suspicion when the time is right. To China, USC is the enemy. Yeah. This is why I'm saying there might be some fishy stuff going on. Jerry Nelson, most Dominicans are scared, or they are bought for a few dollars. Yeah. They're giving them dollars that they have to give back to the government. They're giving them dollars that they have to give back to the government, and they're thinking they get something. People don't understand the cycle of money. Huh? if they give you $500 and you spend that $500 in the economy, it goes down, goes down, goes down until you don't have $500 again. Where do you think that $500 is gonna end up? Or you have that $500 and you're able to put it in different business ventures that can then create more monies for you and then blow up, gain traction and these kind of things there. But you cannot do that in an economy that is not thriving. Therefore, you have to constantly spend and not much surplus is made. So everything is going back to where? People don't understand economies of scale. You don't understand economies of scale. Doesn't work in Dominica. Let me take that back. It doesn't. Not that it doesn't work. There's a certain amount that can be scaled, and not everybody can benefit from that little bit of amount. Because if you have certain amount of jobs available in Dominica, if you have a minute amount of jobs available in Dominica, guys, and there's too much people, or there are people in jobs, they're not retiring because people doesn't make much money, so they have to constantly keep working. And the young ones coming in, they're not getting jobs. There's a minute amount of jobs. What do you think is going to happen? Unemployment is going to take place and poverty is going to increase. But when you have a country that has the ability to scale jobs, make new jobs so that it can circulate in the economy, especially bringing in foreign exchange. This is why places like St. Kitts, Antigua self on a whole other level, Bahamas, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Martin, Tortola, Grenada. When it comes into the tourism aspect, there's a lot of foreign exchange coming into Dominica. We look at Antigua the other day. Antigua is about 15 to 18,000 people that came in one day with 6 boats, brothers and sisters. The max you'll ever see in Dominica is 2 boats, 2 little boats, 2 little cruise ship boats. And you think that is surplus. Now scared them decide they're going to, or whoever is in charge decide they're going to screw up the tourism industry in Dominica. Okay. And you think you can just say sorry and that's it? I like the question one of the individuals asked. He says, who is going to bear the bill for what I did not do? I did not do it, then I had to lawyer up so that I can be protected from what you guys were doing. Who's going to pay the lawyer fees? I like that question right there. So I guess we'll see how that goes as time goes by. The U.S. Embassy has this information. So kudos to the U.S. Embassy for definitely checking that. The U.S. Embassy has quite a number of information when it comes down to Dominica. I mean, if you're trying to move secretly, you don't get the U.S. Embassy involved. You don't. you just don't do that. That's crazy. But I guess you want to make some noise. And then again, if things escalate to the point where they decide, you know what, they're warning people from coming to Dominica, what do you think is going to happen? Brothers and sisters, what are your thoughts in this regard right there? Don't forget to click the video thumbs up button. I would appreciate that. 150 billion%. And of course, with that city right there, guys, it's your boy Miss Licks. And this year, BrBpTV, live interaction. Thanks so much for you guys for interacting with me as well. Rion Austri said, not a movie, a planet. Dominica is a planet, man. You see what Rion say again? Let me go up to Heavenly Symphony. 1 American, 2 group of Americans. Let's see the 3rd victim. 1 family. 3 groups of Americans. So let's see who the next one will be right there. So there was the first 1 family. Then there were 3 groups. Well, 1 group with 3 planes, I'm guessing. Well, I guess it's just 1 group right there. And let's see who the 3rd one will be. Well, I don't think it will come as a surprise. What will happen next, brothers and sisters? Orion is saying they will say Lennox doesn't smile. He doesn't have a nice, he's not a nice guy. I'm confident that he would have been a better prime minister. Yeah. People want to make it seem like politics is about a beauty competition. Beauty competition with people trying to, oh, he had dimples. I love him. His hair nice. He have dimples. Beauty competition, people making politics with. When you're supposed to look at the surplus of the abilities of the individuals who are able to bring things forth in the country to make what? Economies of scale to help the people. Brothers and sisters, Dominica has made so much money when it comes on to CBI programs. I'm looking at send kids taking their monies and doing things in the economy, putting things in right places. And on top of that, the surplus that they made, they've given it to the people until the next cycle that they can do more. Even Dominicans have been participating in getting CBI funds in send kids in a foreign land. Interesting to boy. Guys, let me know your thoughts. I think I'm going to wrap up here. I would appreciate, like I said before, you guys click the thumbs up button before you go. And this is pretty much all your boy has for this year. Reaction vibes, guys. Big up Lofty for definitely being one of the individuals who have been, you know, despite the odds, big up Lofty one time. I keep telling Lofty, you need to go on YouTube as well. You need to go on YouTube. I think he's on YouTube, you know, I think so. But he needs to start doing more on YouTube and then linking back to Facebook. I guess Facebook tends to have a wider audience base. But when it comes down to, you know, standard of living, YouTube is way better than Facebook. You might get less people to view. I mean, if I were doing the lives, I'll probably have like 10,000 people on the lives and all these kind of things there, but on Facebook. But it is much better to be on YouTube. I'd rather have 200-300 people on there than to, you know, be on Facebook. I'm telling you, it is what it is. Right there, guys. Anyways, your boy Mr. Lex once again. Be real. Tell the wicked people them stop their dirty ways, guys.